Okay, so today we are going to be talking about all the books that I read in the month of April, and first, let's show some stats. So my ratings were really good this month. I enjoyed almost everything that I read. Age range was adult leaning, but I had variety in there, and genres were all over the place. I had a really good variety of genres this month. Let me know if you like having stats at the beginning of the video, because I really don't know if I like it or not, so there's a poll. First, I'm going to shout out the books that I'm currently reading so that I don't get a bunch of questions, what about this book? I am still currently reading Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I am 630 pages into this 1,000-page brick, so it will be carrying over into next month. No way I can finish that today. And I started Redwall. I'm only like 3 chapters in, but I know that people are excited for me to read it, so just so you know, I have started it. It will be carried over into next month as well. So the first book that I finished this month was Jurassic Park. This is a movie that I grew up watching and loved, and I finally got to read the source material, and it was phenomenal. One of my new favorite books on the list of favorite books. I had so much fun reading it. I personally do like it more than the movie. I did rewatch the movie after reading the book, and it was awesome. I have a whole vlog dedicated to my reading this and then discussing the movie at the end, so if you missed it, I'll link it. I loved this book because of the amount of time the author took to build it up. The whole beginning I found very interesting, even though we hadn't gotten into the story, or we don't get into the story for quite a while. It's such an immersive world, and the amount of time that this author takes to build up that world and to introduce us to everything that's about to happen made everything feel so real that when things started happening and when the suspense started building and catastrophes, you know the story. When all that started coming to a head, it made it feel so much more intense for me because it all felt so completely real to me. I will be reading the sequel in May, and I will be continuing on with this author's work because I loved this book so much. All the books that I talk about are always linked in the description, by the way, in case you want to check any of them out. Next book I finished in the month of April was Percy Jackson Book 2, which is The Sea of Monsters. I personally did not love this. I really enjoyed Percy Jackson 1, and I was really excited about Book 2, and people had told me that Book 2 is generally considered the weakest of the series. I personally didn't really enjoy very much of this. I wasn't interested in this conflict or the adventure that they went on. I didn't love the new character that was introduced or the way that all resolved. Just in general, I didn't really have a great time reading it. It was a fast, easy read, and I didn't mind it, but I didn't love it. I am still reading Book 3 in May. I will be continuing on with the series, and I'm excited to keep reading the series. I just personally didn't really enjoy this one very much at all. The next book I finished was Wheel of Time Book 12, and I have a dedicated review for it over there. It was amazing. This is one of my top 2 Wheel of Time books that I've read so far, and it may be, I don't know if it's number 1 yet. I loved this book so daggum much. There was so much development that I needed so badly that happened in this book between characters that I had pretty much given up on, and suddenly now I'm looking out for them and loving their scenes. There were also such intense emotional moments that happened in this book, and I feel like I'm finally starting to see the world come together, and even though I know that I don't know how the series is going to end, I feel like I'm starting to get glimpses into how satisfying this ending is going to be. That's all I'll say, because it's the 12th book in a series. Next book I finished was The Hunger Games, and there's a dedicated review for this one too. I enjoyed my reread of The Hunger Games. It was a bit of a different experience because I used to reread these books over and over and over and over again, and I haven't read them in a long time. So coming at it, having forgotten a lot of things and coming at it at a different age was nostalgic, but also just very, very different, and I had a really good time reading it. I do plan on continuing on with the series, and I'd love to finish all 3 books before the next book comes out. I'm probably going to take a little bit of a break because I've just not been in the mood for Catching Fire, but I am still going to continue my reread of this. But I think that there's a lot of stuff that holds up in this book this far removed from it that I still just really enjoyed and was really impressed by. I think that this is still a book to be enjoyed and not just for nostalgic purposes. So I was really impressed by it. I kind of thought that nostalgia was going to carry me through it, but it didn't. I mean, it was a factor, but it really still stands well on its own. And now we have my classics. I kind of went on a bit of a classics binge at the end of the month, and I'm still sort of definitely, I'm still really, really in that mindset. The classics that I read this month, I'm just gonna talk about them all together because I already did a dedicated classics wrap up for them. I have Dune, which was in the classics wrap up, but I also did a dedicated review for it. And then I have Northanger Abbey and Mansfield Park. I've talked about them all, so just really super briefly. Dune is a book that I had a pretty inarticulate review for because I have such mixed feelings on it. I love the discussions had, and looking back at the story, I really enjoy the story and the characters, and I loved the world, but because of certain writing choices, I actually didn't enjoy reading it. I didn't enjoy the process of reading it, even though I like the elements of it. So it's kind of a similar experience that I had the first time, where it's like the concepts and the things discussed are great and I really like them, but because of the way it's written, I don't like the way it's written. So I have such extreme opinions on both sides that I have such a hard time articulating how I feel about it. I'm glad I read it though, and I've really enjoyed discussing it. Northanger Abbey and Mansfield Park, I've been on a Jane Austen binge, and I have Jane Austen videos coming up very soon, and I'm currently reading Sensibility. I forgot to talk about that at the beginning of the video. I really enjoyed Mansfield Park, and I loved Northanger Abbey, and I'm just loving Jane Austen. And just in general, that style of classic, it's my jam right now. And the final 3 books that I'm discussing are books that I haven't had in a reading vlog because this video is going up so late in the week that I finished these books outside of a reading vlog. So surprise! I read In Search of Sasha, which is a self-pub book that was so much fun to read. I'll put some images on the screen. It's a really quick story about these parents who have lost their child and they're in search of their child, and then once we find him, we see what he's been going through and how they all handle it to come back together. It was a really sweet, quick story. The artwork was gorgeous, and I had a really good time reading it. The font type was terrible for my dyslexia, so the author just sent me a Word doc with the words in a different font, and I just followed along in the book. But I thought it was a really sweet story, and I had a really good time reading it. Next book that I started and finished is Tuesdays with Maury. So this is a very short nonfiction book. It's about a man who is dying. He is sick, and he is slowly losing functionality in his body. And one of his old students, who is the author of this book, visits him every week, and they just chat about life. And Maury just answers his questions and helps him to kind of see the important parts of life. I really enjoyed this. It was a hard book to read. If you've ever had someone close to you that you've watched kind of slowly lose functionality in their body and slowly, fade, it is hard to read, but at the same time, it was really, really great because Maury had a great perspective and a lot of wisdom, and there were a lot of really good nuggets in this. So I'm glad I read it. I really enjoyed it, even though it was difficult to read at times. And there are a lot of nuggets that Maury gave that I underlined and got to talk with my sister-in-law about. So it was a good read, and I'm glad I read it. Last book that I finished this month was Wheel of Time, book 13. So full disclosure, at the point of filming this video, I actually haven't finished it yet. I'm on page 716. So I plan on finishing it today. I'm filming on the 30th. So by the time you see this, hopefully I'll be done with it. And I've really enjoyed this one as well. It's been a really easy book for me. I spent the last several days of the month really focusing on this book the most, and it was an easy book for me to binge. I'm so invested in the series at this point that even though this book, in my opinion, was much, much slower than book 12, I still enjoyed every moment of it. And I won't be filming a review for it today, so I'm not sure when the review for this book is coming out, but it'll be out eventually, and we can chat about it more in depth. And I'm so sad that I only have one Wheel of Time book left because I have fallen so deeply in love with this series, And I never would have thought that 14,000 page books, they're not all 1,000 page, but 14 books that are all really big, I never would have thought that wouldn't be enough for me, but I'm feeling that way. I posted on the community tab saying that for the time that we're all self-isolating and it's harder to get our hands on books, I want to start doing giveaways for my wrap-ups. Any book that I read in this wrap-up, I would like to do a giveaway, and one winner, open internationally, will be sent a book, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. And according to the poll, you guys want to choose your own book, which I think is very reasonable. So in the description are links to all these books if you want to look into any of them. Also, my Goodreads is there if you want more in-depth reviews for any of my thoughts on any of these books. So you can enter the giveaway there, and I will send you an email if you won. And after you're done entering the giveaway, hop into the comments and chat with me more about these books, what you plan to read, what you've already read, and want to discuss more. Here's all the books that I read this month. I post videos every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I'll see you guys again soon.